Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to look at an issue with this DV8 aftermarket bumper for the Lexus GX460. Of course, we needed it because we did that to our stock GX bumper. So off it went, and on went the DV8 bumper, which looks great. But there is a noteworthy issue here that we got to talk about. Hasn't had a pretty life, or at least an easy life out here in the Mojave Desert. But here's the issue. It basically sheared the body where it connects from the bumper to the body. Now, admittedly, I was hesitant of this process in DV8's instructions. You can see the crack there where it just sheared off the sheet metal. The instructions call, though, to connect this steel bumper, which connects to your frame, to the bodywork directly through 3 bolts. And you can see there, off it went. It just took a big chunk out of the sheet metal. And this is because we've got a rigid frame connection to a body connection, and those two materials articulate at different rates. And DV8 said to go ahead and attach it right there where you see. You can see the big chunk missing where the flashlight is. It said go ahead and attach it. There's also, look, a stress crack there in the wheel arch, and a similar crack is developing on the opposite wheel too, just not as big, but it's developing. But anyway, DV8 said to attach that bumper to the bodywork rigidly with screws. They even said to go ahead and tighten it down, to pull it in. You know, and kind of stretch the sheet metal to make it work. Here's what it looked like when we installed it brand new. Look how clean that is. But yeah, you can see the support wing, and you can see one of the bolts. And they said go ahead and attach to the bodywork. And they really should have just omitted that, or even added bushings. I'm not even sure that support bracket is needed. Again, you can see that's the before. It's attached right to the bodywork, 3 bolts, and they flex at different rates. And then the red lines is everything that got tore up once all that stress of back and forth off-road went ahead and sheared this right off. Okay, so here we are in the autopsy room. And you can see that this metal plate is the support for the bumper to the body. So one end attaches to the bumper, and the other end attaches to the body. I forget which end is which. It doesn't really matter. But the point is, one end is attached to the DV8 aftermarket bumper, which is attached to your ladder frame. And the other end is attached to the bodywork, which of course is sheet metal. As you can see here, this is some thick stuff. You know, this is even heavy. It's ridiculously heavy. And this was attached, well, I guess it attached this way towards the so the 3 holes here attached to the body. So this side went to the bumper, this went to the body. Here's a piece of the sheet metal that's sheared right off. So I'm not sure the exact configuration, but the instructions said to go ahead and secure these down with bolts, and that this sheet metal wouldn't quite really reach, which is true, it didn't, and they said that's normal, just cinch it in. So they had a tight fit between ladder frame here and sheet metal here. And like I was saying earlier, when I saw those instructions, I worried that this would be the failure point, and that's exactly what happened. Because obviously these are going to flex at different rates. That's why you have those big bushings on your GX isolating your ladder frame from your bodywork. So big rubber donuts or bushings take out that shock, take out the differences in flex, so the metal doesn't shear off. Instead, the bushings just flex and do their thing. So DV8, if you're out there listening, I'd honestly recommend you don't even need this support bracket. It's heavy. It doesn't do anything. It's kind of not needed. If you're going to keep this, I would say wallow out these holes and put some bushings in there, but they'd have to be, you know, at least an inch on every side with a rubber bushing to give it that flex between these two pieces. You know, you want these to flex. So, but I honestly think this is not even needed. And you know, the bolts that come with the bumper, the rest of the bumper, have enough shear strength because they're like grade 10 bolts that come with this thing. So I'm not even sure this is necessary. Side note, if you're listening, DV8, an aluminum bumper would be great. In other words, same thing, DV8, but do this in aluminum. These are the bolts used. What's that, grade 8? Grade 8.8 or something? I don't know if that's grade 10, grade 8. But these are the type of bolts that went through this and into that. So, you know, I'm just putting it together loosely here just to give an example, but you can see something's going to give there between this beefy plate, this beefy bolt, and this piece of sheet metal. There should be a bushing, or again, delete this at all. When I say bushing, I mean anything. Rubber, so the bolt is not resting, the bolt is cinching rubber and not any metal. And so you have all this squish to give it play. Got some more bushings up here. Oop. And this is not really a, you know, even if you had a bolt going in, if this was going through the bolt, this is a silicone bushing, you know, and that bolt now, this bolt is now riding in this rubber, or in this case silicone. So as this flexes up and down, it's just flexing the rubber and it's taking a lot of that shock away from the sheet metal. So that's my recommendations. I cannot fault DV8 for this. This is part of the deal with aftermarket parts. I knew going into this that there was a potential for this right here to happen, and it did. And I made that choice. That's fine. The bumper's great. DV8, it's a great product. But I would, in all fairness, you know, this is kind of engineering, you know, an engineering no-no. Not faulting it. It's just something that I think, in all fairness, should be addressed. And I think the fix is cheap. Get rid of it. Lighten it, maybe. So the failure point, if you made this out of sheet metal, if you made this support bracket out of sheet metal and it attached to sheet metal, then the failure point would likely be in this somewhere. And then, you know, go from there. But anyway, that's a little bit of a rant. Still recommending DV8's bumper because it's just simply awesome. It's just a few kinks to iron out. And as far as the damage, that's part of the fun, part of the risk you take. This is reasonable. This is known as a, what do you call this thing? Front apron. So this ripped off the front apron, so you can get them. So the plan of action for now for the GX is to observe and see how much this rips, see how these stress cracks move, that one on the wheel arch, see if there's any more damage, and just see what kind of, see where the stress is going to go and see if it matters. If it comes to it, we'll have to replace this front apron. But I doubt this is too structural, because this is not like the type of sheet metal they use on the actual tub of the car, you know, the whole body of the car. That stuff's way thicker and stronger. This is really thin, so hopefully this is not as structural as as I want it to be. So that's it. If you've liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day.